Hello, my name is GVS Abhishek Verma and this is my AWS Cloud Captain audition call. Today we will be discussing about cloud computing and a basic service in Amazon Web Services, that is S3 bucket or S3 service. Cloud computing simply refers to the storage and delivery of data over the internet. The data can be stored in a database, a server, etc. Cloud computing based on services allow organizations to select and pay only for the specific computing resources that they need and that they will use. And this will help them reduce cost and increase agility and the various number of services they use. As we all know that organizations use multiple services for their clients and multiple requirements that they need to satisfy. So using cloud computing helps them to reduce the cost based on the amount of service they use per that particular minute. As pay as you go helps them to scale up easily when there was a huge requirement of data for the clients. Nowadays, most companies use hybrid type of storage of data rather than going for an on-premises or going for an entire cloud computing type of storing the data. Nowadays, due to sudden change in user requests and other criteria of the company based on the requirements and cost, made the companies move from completely on-premises data centers to cloud or a hybrid methodology that will be using both on-premises and cloud computing resources, which will save them in terms of cost and in terms of HR recruitment. And in cloud computing, these are the three types of services where the services that we will be discussing like S3, CloudFront, etc. will be segregated. These services are mainly typed as software as a service, platform as a service, and infrastructure as a service. We can simply say that in software as a service, everything is managed by Amazon Web Services. In platform as a services, the data, like a machine learning notebook, where you should give the data and the type of application that you are building so that it will predict the future. And infrastructure as a service, in simple terms to say, the EC2 that you will be taking, where you should change the OS, middleware, runtime data, and applications. But the AWS will be managing the virtualization on the ongoing hardware and the maintenance of the servers, like the IP address etc., which by default it will be given by the Amazon Web Services, and storage options, the minimum storage option for the type of EC2 that you have selected, and the basic networking, which will be selected by EC2. Most services like the MX records etc. are software as a service, and platform as a service we can take a notebook, and infrastructure as a service is an EC2 or a database server etc. Why people use Amazon Web Services? As it is very easy to use. For example, in the olden days, while using on-premises data centers, you should do the wiring and networking stuff on a simple virtual machine. But it was all automated with Amazon Web Services, so it is easy to use by directly purchasing an EC2 from AWS Marketplace. And it is very flexible to change it into an auto scaling mode or into a high compute efficient hardware. And it's cost effective because you will only pay for what you use, and it will save you in terms of low user services. And it's of a reliable service which will help you to continuously deliver your data to your client, and it has scalability and high performance. So if there was a huge surge of your clients using your particular product, AWS will manage the background and make your service scalable, and it was secure. Okay, this was the introduction of Amazon S3, which was also called as Amazon Simple Storage Service, which was the most commonly used Amazon service. Just simply stores the data like PDF, TXT, .csv, etc. This S3 bucket was launched by Amazon Web Services in 14th March 2016, and it is an object storage service that stores data as objects within a bucket. And an S3 is designed to store and retrieve large amounts of data from anywhere in the world. For example, if you have created a downloadable application and want your clients to download it at a higher speeds than hosting on your on-premises data center, then you can simply create a public S3 bucket which was accessible to your customers throughout the world in a CDN like CloudFront, and make your file available in it. Just you will keep the download link to your customer and he will be downloading it so that he will get a much more higher speed than your on-premises data center. S3 use helps us to transfer data from within Amazon Web Services to public clients too. We can simply scale an S3 bucket from 1 terabyte to 5 terabytes etc, and it's durable, has we on backup and recovery service in them. So if the data was lost, AWS by defaultly loads the last save point so that we don't lose any data. And in terms of security, it was by defaultly in private mode, but when you want to share your files in public on the internet, you should turn it into public, and you should limit who should access this S3 bucket through IAM features. And accessibility is through also IAM features, and it was cost effective based on the tier through which you access, and there was a dynamic tier too which changes the way you access the files. For example, there was a change sudden change in users accessing these files, it will automatically change the tier it was, and integrated it with other AWS services like a simple CSV file which was there of a large size like a 1 GB or 1.5 GB, which we can load into ML SageMaker or other ML services. For example, you can do your simple backup and recovery by storing a save point of some other EC2 or other types of files, and you can store big data and do analytics on them, and content delivery, reaching every client of yours with the least latency, and machine learning and disaster recovery and media storage. Mostly this S3 was used for media storage only, and these other features are add-ons. Here we'll be just creating a bucket with a demo name, and we'll be uploading the data, and we'll be setting the properties like it should be either be public or private, and other like running a website, we should be owning it by making it a public, and setting policies also comes under this, and we should run the website. We can say that how this entire function works. When the user visits the web portal sends a request from its internal on-premises data center to Amazon Web Services S3 bucket to send the data, and the S3 bucket will match the policy that either it should send the data or it should reject it. If it was a yes, that it should send the data for the on-premises data center, it will send the data. It should be either an HTML file, CSS, JavaScript, image or PNG, PDF, Word document, Excel, etc. Anything else, even a zip, it will be sending it, or even a .exe, it will be sending it. S3 bucket was mostly used to store files, and the web portal will be receiving the files and you can download it. And this was a simple, highly scalable website which will be using three services: Route 53, CloudFront, and an S3 bucket. For example, you will be uploading the index.html and 404.html website pages in an S3 bucket, and you will make the CloudFront access them and deploy them in a CDN like service, which will deploy in every data center or the regions which you will be selecting, which will make your clients access these files very fast rather than hosting in a single data center. And CloudFront ensures that your clients will load these websites very fastly and with a reliable connection. And Route 53 will create you with a name records that you will be pasted in your domain settings. Route 53 mostly hosts your domain name with using AWS name records. This will ensure that your website never goes down by using different name records from different data centers or different regions, so that which will ensure a maximum uptime of your website. And when a client browser requests some files, the first it will be redirected to Route 53, which will give your IP address. As we are using CloudFront, we will be getting a CloudFront IP address, and the CloudFront from the backwards will connect to a public S3 bucket, and which will take the data into CloudFront and CloudFront to your client browser. This is how this entire service works. Most of these websites will be using this S3 bucket, CloudFront, and Route 53 to ensure that your websites and your other tasks are working properly. Thank you.